I don't know. It's hard to recommend movies to you because do you even have a taste for movies because you watch so few?
Not really. But that's
I've
an
grown so
interesting
much since
question.
then.
My taste for movies. I don't know. I feel like I would watch everything.
Right. Because you're like a baby for movies right now. Like we're just gonna try everything, see what sticks. You like Fire Island?
You
Oh,
like
oh,
Fire
good, good,
Island?
good.
Oh, watch this.
Manic Pixie Jump Scare. Hosted by Quinn Murphy
and Becca Hobart.
Hi,
Um,
we're
we're
Quinn.
Quinn.
And we're
We're
Becca.
Becca.
And welcome to Manic Pixie Jump Scare, a podcast where Becca and I talk openly about our shared delusions
Passions
and
and love
love
for each
for each
other,
other.
I
Yeah, here,
guess.
another day on the Pacific Coast Highway. Hey guys,
Sick,
how's your
brother.
day going?
You gonna
Um,
take the 45 down to 45 and then down the 1 and then up to
uh-huh.
2
I
and then
take
go to
that
the
every day to the
beach.
studio. I take that every day to the studio. And after the studio, I drive right across the freeway and to the beach, baby, because that's what California living is all about.
And I catch some waves, brother, and then I go home and stay unemployed, dude.
Yeah.
Rock on.
When we copy off InfoWars even more and like make the podcast like a actual radio show.
A radio show. Yeah, for surfers.
Yeah,
Love
for
that.
instead of long haul truckers, our intended audience is the surfer community.
Yeah. The
Um,
Wanderers.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And I was just inspired by my hat because I wore this jacket and then I was like, oh, what if I pulled this hat out of retirement?
You were inspired by your hat to wear your hat?
I was inspired by my jacket to wear my hat
Okay, that's not what you said,
because
actually.
I think it is.
You said you said I was inspired by my hat. I saw my jacket. Guys,
Okay,
we
sounds
roll it
good.
back. Run it
Anyway,
back.
editing Quinn will corroborate. Anyway,
Yeah.
but this is my look I actually wore to the Joanne World Tour.
Oh my God, I see
The
that now,
the top
actually.
half, yeah.
Yeah.
This was the look, and this was 2017. So wearing this hat was something that wasn't quite so cringy yet.
No, yeah, it was legendary at the moment.
Now I just look like a voice contestant.
You must say I'm a
I'm a
dreamer.
dreamer.
I also, in a weird way, look like a voice contestant.
We are two different voice contestants.
Yeah, this person would sing like, "Oh my
Exactly. Billie
God."
Eilish.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish dupe.
Yeah.
And I'm like weird, like or not weird, but like soulful, like Americana, folksy.
But I think both would definitely culturally appropriate.
Oh, 1,000%. A hundo P.
I
A
don't even
hundo P
doubt.
even.
Hundo P. Hundo P. 99p on the wall. Take one down. Pass it around. 98
98
P
P on the
P on the
wall.
wall. So I don't know if
Not,
I always said that. So
not P. Oh my
P.
goodness. But
Yeah.
yeah, here we are yet again. We find ourselves in this place we come to dream, and to have
Dare.
heartbreak feel good.
Yep. In a place like this.
Like this. And so too late now to deviate from our format. Okay.
So we must.
But I do genuinely want to know. It's one of the best parts of my week when I get to catch up with my girly Becca. And so,
Hmm.
Becca, what the hell have you even been up to this week?
Well, you know me. I'm always shworking.
Mm-hmm.
And Quinn, is this what you're scared of?
I am scared of this. I am scared of
Okay.
what you're about to say.
So let me just update the audience with my bullet point, which is Becca is a warehouse worker now. And while I am lying, I am also telling the truth.
Okay.
Because listen
We
here.
lie to tell truth.
Exactly. You know how I was demoted against my will at Ulta Beauty?
Oh, so you're not okay.
So I was going to be actually, it was going to be a lateral move. I was notified 5 weeks after I had the position that I actually couldn't be moved in the position
Mm-hmm.
that I had
Yeah.
been in for 5 weeks. So I am still getting paid the same actually. It's just I am now a tasker. So I am not allowed to ring or help guests, which is perfect actually. If someone
Okay.
tries to talk to me, I go, nope. I can call someone. Nope. I don't know where that is. Nope. So that's good. But um the makeup store I work at, I already said Ulta. Okay. The makeup store in which
So
I
many
work
times on the
so
podcast.
many times.
There's no point in anonymity at this point.
Thousands of time.
Despite
The
the
store
times
in
I've
which I
tried to
work,
temper you, like I remember when you
yeah,
got the job and being
I
like, "Oh, do we?"
refuse.
And you just went, "No, Ulta. I actually work at Ulta because
I
I love working at Ulta."
love Ulta. But listen to this.
Mhm.
They started a new program called Ship from Store where online orders can come right from the store to people's houses.
Oh,
So they
okay.
do need someone to go collect and box up and ship those orders,
Oh, Schwerd.
which you may be thinking that is what a warehouse worker does.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not my job. I just
You're
do it in an Ulta Beauty.
you're at the Ulta warehouse.
Yes, Ulta Warehouse via Ulta Store.
Okay.
So,
Okay, that's much better than I was anticipating.
yeah. But I am in the little corner of the back packing boxes. Like I have to tape up the boxes and put the things in the bags and the flammables in the other bags.
Do you have the cunty little like tape wand thingy?
Yeah, but it doesn't work so good.
Uh,
It always gets
hate that.
stuck. I know.
Always get stuck.
Dang it. The good news is our FedEx guy is pretty cute, actually. And now he has to
Legally
come every
Blonde.
single day, multiple
Yeah.
times. It is, and I'm actually so Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
I made a
Noted,
reference to
noted.
Jennifer Coolidge and Legally Blonde yesterday because my friend's dad gave his dog away.
Oh no.
And we were like, I was like, oh, we need to go and retrieve her. Like,
Yeah.
we are Miss Jennifer Coolidge and Miss Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde, the film and musical, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just warehouse working.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my passion, but I'll do it for the bucks,
For the bag.
for the bag. And also, I can wear my headphones and no one really notices.
Yeah.
That's kind
That
of the
is
good
kind
thing.
of that's the one thing at
I'm
the
on my own
winery.
time.
That's the one thing at the winery that's nice about like being on the job where you like have to clean glass all day basically is like you can kind of just like be by yourself and like listen to music, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like no one's really my boss right now. Like I also stood in the back the other day for 20 minutes because I was just on my phone. I got lost on my phone. And then someone was like, hey. And I was like, hey, I'm about to go on my 15. So I literally took like a 45-minute break. No one says a word because they don't know. I'm just
Who
doing my own
GAF?
thing.
Do you have to
Yeah.
clock out for your like breaks or
Not our 15s. If I was taking a meal, I would, but I
oh,
usually
okay.
work like 7. I don't usually
That's
work
so
8
busted
hours.
clocking out for lunch. Get over yourself.
Literally, what is the point then?
Well, because one of
Like,
my
let me
jobs
go home then.
does it and one of my jobs doesn't.
So weird.
It's like what,
I thought it
$7
was
to
the lore.
$10? Like,
Yeah.
who cares?
Like, I'd
Anyway.
rather just
Well,
go home and work less, honestly.
my one job's policy is like if you leave site, you have to clock out. But if you stay on site, you can stay clocked in.
Yeah. When I
Which
worked at the
I think is
nursing
fair.
home, we would stay clocked in and we would all leave for hours. That was
Wage
perfect.
theft. You have to engage in wage theft.
You must,
It's one
especially
of the
as a
most
teenager.
underrated kinds of stealing.
Literally,
No, it's reverse
I'm
wage
constantly,
theft, actually. Like, you have to
you
start stealing
must.
from the corporations that employ you guys. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. In fact,
Um,
encouraged.
yes. I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah. Okay. So warehouse worker, but not in like a scary way.
Yeah, in a fun way.
Mm.
And also, it's been I hung out with my friend from work, Jacqueline. We watched the movie Go. If you haven't seen this movie, it is craziness, palooza, bonanza.
Okay.
It's one of those 90s movies that like things just happen. It's crazy. So we watched it and it gave us like a bunch of energy. So then we went onto my Tinder and we started we were swiping on so many people. I sent so many messages of goofy things. And like we went back and it's a crazy thing to do on Tinder
What?
is like to go back in your matches. Like go back
Oh.
and see who you've liked in the past who's just been sitting there waiting.
No, like I think about if I ever re-downloaded Tinder and saw the people who I like matched with like a couple years ago when I was actually on the service.
It's shocking. I was like, ooh, wow.
You gotta see we're
Ooh,
screwed.
wow. Yeah. So I did have to bug some of them and be like, hey, it's been 3 years. I think I'm finally ready to say hello and go on a date with you.
Just trying this.
just
Hey,
just
just
fling it at the wall.
throwing this out there.
Don't act shocked.
There-
And when you receive
Never act
this from
shocked.
me.
Never act shocked.
You cannot.
Hmm.
But I'm trying to convince Jacqueline that we should like memorize every single plot point of the movie Go and then tell people that it happened to us.
Yeah.
One of the things that happens is that a girl gets hit by a car from two
Man coded.
yes, and it was by two gay men who were driving the car who were actually actors who earlier set her up in the day to be arrested by the police. They hit her.
Not
They're
the double homicide.
Exactly.
Oh
Anywho.
my God.
Right. And I was like, I think I would be the one who gets hit by the car, but
Is it
who's
like
to
a
say?
comedy or
Yeah.
okay.
All in
Work.
good fun.
Work.
All in good fun. Parts of it are rancid. You're gonna be like, wow. That's rancid.
When I never really
Yeah.
watched the movie.
It's I don't know. It's hard to recommend movies to you because do you even have a taste for movies because you watch so few?
Not really.
Right?
I watched a movie this week, guys.
What was it?
Fire Island. I rewatched it. It was a rewatch.
Okay, so that actually doesn't count, actually.
I think it does count.
A rewatch?
Yeah. It's been over a year since I've seen the film.
So you forgot it all?
I forgot like a good amount of it. Not like I remembered like the one-liners in that movie so good. Like whoever was writing punch-ups or like I don't know if even that's a thing on movies, but like oh my God, the one-liners in that movie are to die for.
It's a funny movie. Maybe I should rewatch it.
And I just think one of the most important scenes of modern cinema is the scene where they're playing Heads Up and they're trying to describe Marissa Tomei.
Oh my God.
When my biological clock is ticking like this.
Ticking like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one line where it's like, we were starting a podcast.
We were gonna start a podcast together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Guffaw.
Guffaw. Oh my God, that's just like us.
It's just like us.
But no, that's like 2 movies in the past like 2 weeks.
This is big for you.
That's big for me. That's huge for me.
No, I
guys.
will recognize. Even though one's a rewatch, it's still a film. I shouldn't have complained, honestly.
Yeah, but that's
I've
an
grown so
interesting
much
question.
since then.
My taste for movies. I don't know. I feel like I would watch everything.
Right, because you're still you're like a baby for movies right now. Like we're just gonna try everything, see what sticks. You like Fire Island?
You like Fire Island?
Good.
Oh, watch this. What are some of my favorite? Obviously I like anything, not anything gay, but like I like when there's like a gay element to it.
Yeah, of course.
But
not Bros.
Oh, but not Bros. Oh my God.
I can't believe of all the movies alive, you did watch that one.
I had to. I decided I was
right.
Like,
you had to be.
I'm gonna watch it again too. I'm gonna watch it again.
I'm shocked.
I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna put myself through it again because I need to crystallize my thoughts about like what made it bad.
Okay. It's okay. So it's purely for critical reasons.
Yes. Yeah. I would only
Gotcha.
ever watch it again for like critical reasons.
Yeah. to
There
produce
is
long
one
studies
funny
on
joke
it.
in Bros at least. There is one joke where I was laughing in Bros and I remember it.
Which one?
It was at one point like early in the movie. It's on his like first date with the guy, his love interest. Billy Eichner's character goes, "I'm like the grown-up Evan Hansen."
Fuck.
I was like, okay. I was
You
like,
caught me
you ate
there.
that bitch for nothing, but you ate that
It's
one
that
thing.
one thing. That one thing.
Literally. Do you know
Dang.
what I was actually tempted to watch this week? And by tempted, I
What?
mean like I thought about it.
Okay,
The
what?
Idol.
So I feel like that is something I have to partake in.
Yeah, I feel like we might have to actually. I'm glad you said something.
Damn, I'm gonna have to get Max
I did
after all this
watch
time.
I did watch a like recap video, and so I basically know what happens, but like I also just feel like I need to know what's going on.
I don't know anything, but I feel like I should go in blind
Yes, yeah.
and see how I feel then.
Because like I don't know, it's a show with good bone and I find it like interesting. It's very I just find the whole like conversation around it very interesting.
So did Sam Levinson write and direct this all
So this
as
is
well?
part of the interesting part about it.
Okay.
Sam Levinson was not originally connected to the project.
Oh,
The project was apparently like 90% done, like shot in the can. I forget if it actually, I don't know if it was like written or like in the can or what, with a different director and showrunner.
okay.
She left for some reason. She left the show for some reason. And
Oh,
then I believe like very much championed by the weekend, Sam Levinson was brought in and reworked the entirety of like the script. Because apparently it was like
oh no.
they were like, oh, it's falling too much into like a female perspective.
We can't have that.
No, and women aren't allowed to have a point of view.
Don't let her speak.
Don't
Don't let her speak.
don't let her speak. And
Don't
like
do make her drink alone. Don't let
do
her
make her
speak.
drink alone. Don't let her speak. But yeah, so it was like at one point it was like something very different, I think.
Interesting.
But then it like turned into whatever it is.
Sam
Which is like
Levinson's
it's an interesting
hands on
premise
it.
for a show.
It's just about a pop star.
Yeah, I think. But then there's like a cult aspect to it, and I don't quite understand how the cult works.
Hmm.
Like I feel like no one can describe
Okay.
like the cult part of the show to you, which is what I'm like interested in seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But all these random people are in it too.
Troye Sivan.
Troye Sivan,
I had no idea.
that's
It's so
exactly what I
hilarious.
meant by random people.
Yeah.
Even though another movie I watched one time was that movie 3 Months with Troye Sivan in it.
I haven't seen that.
It's about a kid in like the 90s who has like an HIV scare.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it was like early 2000s. It definitely wasn't like contemporary. It came out in like 2021, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
But he has an HIV scare and it takes like 3 months for your like results to come back. And like over the course of that 3 months, he like sparks a relationship with this other kid.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yeah, and he was very good in that movie. And apparently he's very good in The Idol as well. Apparently,
I
like
don't doubt it.
everybody's pretty solid except for The Weeknd. And
Right.
also Sam Levinson's writing is Sam
Atrocious
Levinson's
as we know.
writing.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I was watching a video about The Idol and somebody said something so it was this YouTuber named Kayla Says who does some good videos. She said something to the effect of like, we need to stop letting this guy who had like one fluke good season of a TV show one time, like have this
Right. Keep
outsized
doing
power.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, and she was so right about that. Because honestly, season 1 of Euphoria, so good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
such a great season of television.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had season 2 of Euphoria, which it was certainly a season of television that aired.
Right. Kind of off the walls, guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of what the hell was that thing?
Yeah. Actually, season 2 of Euphoria had like good moments, but like
It's not cohesive though, which is what makes
no,
something
it was like
truly
a
good.
weird liminal, like, yeah.
I don't.
And like there wasn't a
Yeah.
lot of payoff. Like everything that was good about it was just such a one-off thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking about obviously like what was it, episode 3, where like Nate Jacobs' backstory, and
Yeah.
then the episode where Rue was just on the run for the entire episode.
Right.
That is an impressive episode of television because it just induces a level of anxiety in the viewer that is
So high.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But then
I
again, like no, there's
no
no
consequences, no anything. And then the play episode,
play episodes so good.
which is good, but again, no consequences, like no long-term
Yeah.
consequences. It's literally just like Cassie gets her ass beat.
Yeah. Boom,
Um,
surprise.
yeah. Even the fucking drug suitcase, like
Also, like Matt, like no, there's so much left unanswered. Like Maddie with that woman. What the hell?
oh
Totally forgot about
yeah.
that. What is up with that?
Yeah.
Guys, there's so much that yeah, guys.
He
Have you ever seen the film Assassination Nation?
no, I have not.
It's actually one of my favorite movies, and he did write and direct it. It is pre-Euphoria him.
Okay.
It is before I knew that was him.
Okay.
I referred to Assassination Nation as Euphoria with murder. Knowing that Assassination Nation came first, Euphoria is Assassination Nation without murder. He literally recycled his own idea product, like concept kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he also does this thing, which I find I would be interested if The Idol does this, where he does have like a female narrator. And it's while like Rue is really compelling because her like psyche is so twisted or whatever, and she's
Mhm.
obviously going through things. Sometimes that's just really lazy to have like, and then this happened, and when I was younger, this is what happened, and blah 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 blah, and this is how I feel about this, and now we're gonna go see what these people think about this.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's why it feels
Yeah.
so jumpy, I think, because season 2 he did that so much. All right, well, any freaking way.
I was talking about Sam Levinson's filmography for a good 10 minutes.
And we're like, Sam Levinson, honestly, if you write something for us, we will do it though.
Oh yeah,
I
1000%.
won't not do it. It's
I
just
thought
probably not
because
gonna be
like
that great.
I also don't really have as much like ethical concerns around Sam Levinson. Like I think he's bad at his job, but
Right.
not to a degree where I think it's like
He's
super
like terrorizing
damaging.
people.
Yeah,
Right,
because like
right.
people really do a lot with like, oh, Sam Levinson, like, and it's like, girl, if you think he's first of all, this bothered me so much during Euphoria because people will go up being like, Cassie is so over sexualized. Every character on the show is so over sexualized. You're tuning the fuck in every week.
Yeah.
If it really bothered you, if you really thought it was an issue, you'd stop watching the show.
Turn the TV off.
You don't have to. In
Dare
fact, it's
you?
like, yeah, you have to literally pay a subscription to watch the show. And not
And
even
I
in the
know
age
it.
of streaming. It was just always going to be that way because HBO has been
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
HBO is not new to this. They're true to the subscription model. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, you were always going to
Always.
have to pay to watch this television show. Now, I know a lot of y'all
Mm-hmm.
going
No matter
on
what, girl.
Soap Daily and 1, 2, 3 movies and getting your life,
Well,
but
guess what? Soap Today shut down.
oh, okay. I didn't know
Got to
that.
pay. Pay up.
But
Pay up.
pay up. What was the movie that came out that like caused all that? Or the TV
It was
show?
the Idol girl.
Oh, The Idol. I see.
Yeah.
Look at me. Look at me remembering things.
You knew it, you know.
Look at me having recall.
That felt like you were testing me. And what was that TV show
If you
again?
answer my
Yeah.
riddles 3.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, girl, what has been going on with you other than your movie watching lately?
Other than the fact that I'm a new movie critic. Um,
Mhm.
well, first of all, I had my first day at camp today. And I
Oh,
hope my
first
energy.
day.
Yes, yeah. Because I had
Oh, I'm
training.
shocked. Have you been in training for 2 weeks?
I had training for, yeah, kind of, because I basically had training like full time last week. And then
Okay.
the week before, I had like online trainings and stuff. One of which I still haven't done and like nobody's asked me about. And apparently it's like 10 hours long. So
Let it play in your sleep, girl.
yeah, it might just not get done. That's a good idea, doing it in my sleep.
Yeah. Doing
But
just like
that assumes I have time to
easy.
sleep.
Because
I myself
you
am working
girls.
off like 4 hours or something I got last night. But
Oh, dang.
anyway, I've been up since 5:30 this morning. It's currently 9:41
Oh
at night.
no.
But yeah, that's the beauty of working at summer camp. So it was my first day on site today.
Okay.
And guys, working for nonprofits, it's always gonna be a little disorganized. Actually,
Hmm.
working anywhere. Did that ever surprise you, like just how disorganized everything is?
So when you first, you know, it's hard to answer that because at
Hmm.
first you get to a place and you're like, oh, this might actually be the place that is organized. And then you're like, no, actually, no,
Nah,
it's
and then you
not.
start to peel
Yeah.
back the layers. You're like,
Yeah.
no.
It's just like everything else.
Because honestly, like all my work is like all my jobs are kind of like, oh, one thing I do appreciate about my jobs now, as opposed to like my tour guide job, is like my tour guide job, things would not be organized by like things would be poorly organized or not organized at all by like the Office of Admissions. And then if you didn't figure out a way to like fix their errors, it was your fault.
Oh.
Whereas like I feel like my workplaces now are much more like they realize that like there are certain things in which we're like set up for failure or like
Mm.
like or not set up for failure necessarily, but like, it's gonna be hard to
That
succeed
don't
with like
fall
the
on you. Right.
exactly. I'm like there's less responsibility and stuff. Or maybe it's just a shift in mindset I've had being like, okay, I have no support to do this thing. I don't know how to do this thing, but I'm being tasked with it. So I'm just gonna do whatever and whatever I do will be good because nobody actually took the time to be like, hey. And whether that's because
Yeah.
like, a mismanagement thing or there's not the time, whatever. But maybe that's just a personal mentality thing. But anyway, so yeah, we got to be with the children today. And girl, it's really fun working with kids. I did have like it is so exhausting, but it is really fun also to work with kids. So I work in like it's like elementary through like middle school, and I was
Hmm.
interacting with like rising like fourth graders and up. So,
Youngins.
yeah.
Wow.
So, but no, when they got to middle school, I was like, these kids are grown. Like, what is going
The
on?
big.
What is going on? And there's okay. So, I was the so we have like I'm an enrichment instructor, so I'm going to be teaching like classes and stuff.
Okay.
But the thing that's interesting about this camp is we're like letting the kids choose what classes they want to take. So we're supposed to be
Mm.
having like demo days over like the
Okay.
next 2 days to
Show a little
like
bit of the
let
class, see
kids
what's
get a little
up. Okay.
demo day fell apart after lunch today. Like we
Oh
like
no.
we got through like the first half of the day and then we got to the second half of the day and it was suddenly like we stopped rotating and like we just were kind of like, okay, kids, play games.
How did it fall apart? What?
I think it's because honestly, I'm working at like a new site that the company I work for has never worked with before. And so they
Gotcha.
have to like learn an entire new site, a new
Mm,
crop of kids, a new like
right.
everything.
Gotcha.
And so I think that's kind of what I'm chalking it up to a little bit. And
Hmm.
also two people quit at like 4 a.m. this morning.
No.
Yeah, so like two counselors fully quit, so we were understaffed.
That's so
Um,
many counselors.
yeah, and like oh yeah, and it was 4 out of like 8, maybe less than that we had on site. So like I know for
No.
me personally, I was like slotted to like because all the counselors are in like little teams. Oh, so we had 10 counselors because it was supposed to be two kids to a team. So 20% of our counselors just walked this morning before we even got off the ground. So like I had to step in and like not be an instructor for the day and I was like counselor basically instead. Like I still instructed my classes when I could, but mostly it was like I had to like be with the kids and like the group and stuff. So I
Mm,
still got to instruct. I got to do the drama section. So
lovely.
hopefully the kids pick that. I played a game called This Is a Duck with them.
Okay.
The older kids didn't love it. Um
Sure.
The younger kids though loved it. Like
Ate it up, I'm sure.
fourth and fifth graders, they were getting it.
Yeah.
And so I hope some people pick that because that would be fun to like teach this summer as opposed to some of the other things that I'm just not that interested in.
Mhm.
But these kids are hip to my tricks. Like especially the middle schoolers. They were literally not like 15 minutes in, and these like three girls were asking me if I was like gay.
Oh boy.
And they were like they didn't ask it like at the like because kids, it's like suggestion and like because they don't want to like
Yeah.
say like they don't want to like they
They
want to
don't know
give
how to
themselves
actually,
cover.
yeah.
No,
Right,
they know how
right.
to actually ask. They just don't want to because they don't want to offend
Right.
anybody, but they also want to like they want to push the line basically.
Yeah.
And so they started asking me all these weird questions, which I clocked like right away. They were like, "Oh, do you eat fruity pebbles? Do you eat fruit cups? Do you?" This one girl thought she was like being like, I don't know if she thought she was whispering or if she wanted me to hear, but she kept saying it's giving fruity. Like,
No.
and it's such a weird situation, right? Because it's like obviously I'm very comfortable like being a queer person most days and like
Uh-huh.
also, but it is interesting how it like transports you back a little bit to like being in like that age and like
Yes.
living in fear of like oh, are you gay question, having to be like um,
I don't
but
know.
it's also like these kids are literally 10 years younger than me. Like they were born in 20 a post 2012 environment. Like
Oh my
what?
Jesus
Like
Christ.
it was like
Post
I was looking at the
Coney.
birth dates 2012, 2013, 2014. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's
um
really messed up.
so they were like so much younger than me. So like, why would I give a care about anything going on? But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's also it's just a weird thing. And then it's like I don't want to be like I don't want to be like, yup, I'm gay to the kids because it's also like
Sure
it
am.
yeah, because also it like creates this weird thing where it's like, oh, um it creates this weird thing where like what if kids are like what if kids are then like weird about it. And then
Yeah.
all this shit with like LGBT people in education and LGBT topics in education, like there's also that whole dimension of it being like, if I like confirm the fact that I'm gay to like the students will like, not that I live in a state that's like this, but like who knows? People are fucking crazy.
Yeah, people are
Like
crazy.
if somebody goes home and was like, oh, one of my teachers is gay, like are they gonna like think I'm like, am I gonna get like grooming accusations? Like,
Right.
so that's something else I have to like negotiate. So I was just kind of like, I was just not confirming nor denying like anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I would keep it that way. Stay neutral.
But it's also like
Damn.
WGAF. Like I get their kids, but like why do you care?
Yeah.
Why do you
Get
care?
over it, guys.
Yeah, get over it, guys. People be gay.
People will be gay.
Sorry.
And
I
guess what? I got news for you. You're at a day camp.
yes, exactly.
Look inward.
I am playing a Hobarteskian game with them though. In
Okay.
that I refuse to also tell them my age.
Perfect. Perfect.
And the
They've
guess is,
asked directly.
oh yeah. Well, I started to tease them with it.
Okay, nice.
I started to tease them with it. So I was like, I gave them some hints where I was like, like it's funny because I love saying things to children that they won't understand. Like
Mm-hmm.
today I said to one of the kids, I was like, I was born before the US invaded Iraq.
Oh my God.
And like
A
they
youngin, I suppose.
yes, and they were of course like they're born in like 2012, so they're like, what? And I'm like, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know how better to explain it than that really.
That's
But like it
all I
was
can say. It's all they'll let me say.
they do think I do like the median. I did poll the room and I do believe like my median age is like mid 20s, early 30s. They think I am.
Oh wow. Early 30s. Jeez whiz.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't guess it. Interesting though.
Well, you famously. Well, it's also funny because kids like have such a different perception of age
Right.
because they just see
If you're
like an
above
old.
18, they're like, you're so old.
Yeah, they're like, oh my, because I even got that when I was 19 and working at camp. Like they were like, oh,
hmm
you're old as fuck. It's also I also think
Right.
it's like because I'm tall. I think that also
Right.
plays into it.
In their brain. You're so
Yeah.
right.
They're like, no,
Very
because
tall, very old.
no, because there was it was funny because I was at my other job and we were this one guy has this thing where he like makes people guess his age, and he was like, I told him my age and he was like, oh my God, you're younger than me. I thought you were like 25. And I was like, what would you make you think that? And he's
Mm-mm.
like, honestly, I think it's because you're tall.
Gotta be so upfront with you about
He
that.
said, I have to come
uh,
clean. We're going to
I
Domino's.
must say.
But so yeah, not passing the Am I Gay quiz to my students with flying colors. Um,
Okay, good. That's
but
all I
yeah,
need to hear.
but yeah, no, it is fun. I do like being with like the younger kids too because they just have such a wonder about life and such a zest. That was the other thing they were calling me. They were calling me zesty. They're
Oh,
acting if I like to. They're asking if I like to eat zesty chicken.
oh my gosh. I can't, like, what do they think is gonna happen if you were like, yeah, I do? Like, they're gonna be like,
No, because like
oh my
you'll say
God.
something and they'll be like, "Oh my God." Like if I said like I was like I don't eat fruity pebbles and they were like
Can you edit
they freak out over
it?
like the darndest things. And then they're like laughing
Yeah.
at things and you're like I don't even know what you could possibly be laughing at. That's
Yeah.
like this funny.
No, I love when the kids freak out to each other and I'm like, they're just
To be
such
young.
kids.
No,
Yeah.
literally.
To be young and in love.
Um but so yeah, I'm kind of excited for the summer. Um it was like there for 9 hours. And it was
Jesus.
literally
So when does camp start? Like time of the day?
well, we got there early today. Like I was there at 7:30 this morning.
Oh,
Apparently when we like get into it, we can start showing up at like 8.
okay.
Um, but yeah.
Jeez.
And I literally worked 4th of July was my first like day off, like not scheduled to work
Mm-hmm.
in I think I worked either 10 or 11 days straight.
Dang.
Like I was scheduled to work for 10 or 11 days straight.
Those are always tough.
And 4th of July, I even had a dog sitting job that I was finishing. So
So it wasn't even actually a day off.
yeah, and I had
Damn.
to write the entirety of my newsletter yesterday because I
I had
didn't
no
have time because I was so
other.
exhausted all last week.
Jeez.
But yeah, so guys, it's fun. It's fun the life I live. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but anyway, I was like, no, yesterday it was crazy because I was like, I was watching something and I was like, oh my God, it's 11 o'clock and I'm not anywhere. I was sitting in like
So
the
important.
dog I was like the family's dog I was sitting house. What the fuck? The
Whoa.
house I was sitting, and I was like, oh my God, it's 11 o'clock and I'm not anywhere. Like I'm just at the
I'm just
house watching
here.
TV. Not my
It's
house. We weren't
perfect.
there, but I
The
was like,
house.
yeah.
Good enough.
But it's crazy because it's like this used to be all I do. We always want what we don't have. It's one of the
Yeah,
fucked up things about life. Grass
literally.
is always greener.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I have also been watching the show. The show I was watching when I had that thought was a show called Swiping America.
I haven't heard of this.
It's on Max, which you are famously not a subscriber
Okay.
to.
So that makes
But
sense.
it's interesting because they're New Yorkers and they took 4 New Yorkers and they're taking them across 8 US cities and like setting them up on dates.
It's
And
a reality show?
it's like no, it's a documentary. It's more of a series than like a reality show.
Okay.
Like it definitely which is why I think I like it because like I've never like watched like Bachelor or like I've watched Love Island like a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think this one I like because it is so like just these people existing. Also the casting is just like exquisite. Like the 4 people they found to like be like their heroes are
Yeah.
like compelling people
Okay.
and like interesting. Um there are 2 that I like more than the other 2, but anyway, but it's interesting. So it's like it's 3 women, 1 man, and then so the women, the guy's gay, and 2 of the women date men, and then one's a lesbian and she dates women.
Sweet.
So it's like, yeah, it's a very diverse show. But it's really interesting. I find the conceit of the show so interesting because they like set people up, but they also give them one of the biggest like factors of undesirability, which is like geographic location.
Mm-hmm.
Because like these people are gonna eventually go back to New York, but like if they meet somebody in like Asheville, North Carolina, or like Austin, Texas, like the places they're going, it's like one of y'all is gonna have
Damn.
to relocate.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's interesting how like maybe it's just a thing my mom talks about all the time, but she's like, oh, geographically undesirable. Like
Hmm.
all the people they're dating are geographically undesirable.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's all people are really interesting. Last night I felt bad for laughing, or yesterday I felt bad for laughing, but one of the gay guy on the show, he's like, I find him like, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about him because he's like introverted and he's kind of like, he comes across to me as like kind of whiny a lot of the time. And like,
Mm.
I don't know, like it's weird because like I agree with like a lot of the things he says, but I'm also like, why do you feel so sorry for yourself? Like I think it's just
Oh,
a thing of my like personal mentality where I'm like, perk up buttercup, or what is it, pucker up buttercup. No,
yeah.
that's not what it is.
Um,
I forget. But anyway,
yeah.
I'm like, get over it.
Yeah.
But then
I'm
he
like,
like,
get over
especially
it.
because he's like, especially because he's like a very conventionally attractive person, and like I don't know why. Like it just bugs me when conventionally attractive people are like, oh, I just have such a hard time finding people to date. I'm like, no, you don't.
Like, shut up.
I'm like, that's
Shut up.
factually incorrect, actually.
I know you're lying.
Um, and he also like like his whole like online persona is like him posting like shirtless pics and like doing all that stuff. And he like,
Mm,
it's weird because like they ask him about it a bunch of times and he does acknowledge that it's like for validation. I'm just like, so why are you
still.
doing that then? Which like I get,
Yeah.
like everything we post on social media is to some degree like a validation thing. Like it's hard to
Mm-hmm.
divorce that aspect of it because like if we didn't, like why would we even be on it really? But like
Exactly.
I don't know, there's something I don't know. There's just something I don't like about him. But then he randomly reveals because he was like, it's interesting because what they've started doing, it's an HBO show, so they must have like a crazy budget because what they'll
Right.
do is they meet people. Like this one girl met a guy in Austin and she like really hit it off with him. She's
Mm-hmm.
flown him to 2 of the other cities they've been to.
Oh.
Like he's come out to visit her at 2 of the other cities they've been to at this point.
Oh my God.
And so the gay guy did the same thing with a guy he met in Miami. He flew him out to El Paso, or not El Paso. What's the one in Santa Fe?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, they had like a nice date and like the whole thing. And then, um, they were like apparently like making out and like apparently things were like gonna go further. But then the guy put like a stop to it. And then they have these little like powwows at the end of each episode, like the 4 heroes. And
Mm-hmm.
he goes, yeah, guys, I actually have to tell you something. I have erectile dysfunction. It's not fun.
Permanent?
It's not funny. It was just such a random thing that happened, but
Oh boy.
I guess it's permanent. I don't know the ins and outs of ED really like that
Yeah, yeah, me neither, to be
yet.
honest.
Um,
T- The night is still young.
the night is still young.
Still young.
Um, but he was talking about how he like needs an emotional connection to like actually like I guess make like the mental thing to like actually be attracted, or not be attracted, but like
Be roused.
get his
Rocks off.
sales, get rise his sales. Like clapping in shipper.
Exactly.
And so, but it's just, yeah, the show is so fascinating.
Maybe
I'm
I'll have
very,
to add to my Max list
yeah, all
once I
things you need
get
to watch when you get HBO Max.
every damn thing.
Yeah, but this show is also really good at building like intrigue. They always end it on like a cliffhanger. Um,
Okay.
So like at the end of the first episode, they just drop a bomb. Like after they did like the first round of dates and we're in the first city, one of the girls they have on there was just like, yeah, and I don't know why, but I haven't told any of my dates about my daughter.
Oh, seems so relevant.
Yeah, and so but it's interesting because her daughter has never like lived with her because her daughter has
Oh,
like had severe like birth complications and has like pretty like serious like physical disabilities. And so
interesting.
she lives in like a 24-hour like care facility.
Oh,
Um
that's actually fascinating.
yeah,
But
and
you only
so
learned that the next episode, or you knew that
yeah, and it
then?
was like halfway through, like you had to watch half it.
Wow.
It wasn't a below deck situation where they're constantly recapping things that happened 5 minutes ago. It
Right.
was fully like you had to watch like 20 minutes because I was of course on the edge of my seat being like, when are they going to talk about this daughter that she has apparently? Like I need to know everything about this
Yeah.
daughter. Um, because that lady's whole thing is that she was a Mormon and she got married super young. So she had the baby like
Ooh.
23 or something, and now she's 36 and the kid's like
Damn.
14. Um,
Damn.
and it was interesting too because she's like, oh, it's they because they've had to like bond because the kid's nonverbal basically, and so like they've had to like create their bond in like other ways than like speaking. Um, and it was
That's
interesting
so
because like
interesting.
yeah, it's very like because she just seems kind of like a kooky like little like white lady throughout like
Yeah.
the show before that because like she also brought her dog on the thing. Like her dog is like the fifth character on the show.
I love that.
And it's just like this little like
Very
this
Jewel.
yes, it's very Jewel. But then you're like she has like this like intense backstory and she was also a Mormon and
Yeah.
so she
Wow.
has that going for her. Um,
Big things, big things.
but yeah. Anyway, so I've been entranced by that show.
Well, I'm excited to view.
I know.
You know, I love anything exciting. Something
I
about me.
love anything exciting. But
Yep.
yeah, and that's basically what I have to catch the public up on. Are you good, Miss
hmm
Becker?
You know I am.
Okay. Then we will
Drink
throw
the
it
wine,
to
chug.
we'll throw it to a little break and we will be right back.
Guys, I'm scared.
Who's that? Who's she? She's back. It's me. OMG.
Actually, BOL.
Idgebull, Idgebull, Idgebull. Okay.
Idgebull,
Edka,
guys.
Edka,
Edka, Idgebull, Idgebull, Idgebull.
Idgebull, Idgebull. The name of our children we're announcing
Edka
right
and
now.
Idgebull.
What
Us if we were
kind of Greek
Swedish.
ass? Right, right.
If Becca had stuck with Swedish and then we had made Swedish spawn.
Yeah, that's crazy. In another lifetime. Because Duolingo, they do make you have a baby after you've hit the 72-week mark.
Yeah, after you reach the final, you were like, okay, now you have to raise a child with
Yeah.
this language.
And teach it the language. Yeah.
hmm
And then they test you. And then if you do bad, the robot baby explodes, I
Duo
heard.
kills your ass.
Idgebull has hit the towers.
Third Idgebull has
Exactly.
hit the towers.
Third. Okay, guys, seriously, get serious. So this week, it's guys, surprise, it's been a stainless deep dive the whole time, and you literally had no idea. You guys look so stupid right now. It's hilarious. Wait, Ishbal for real, like not even
Idgebull!
lying. Good,
Oh my
good.
god, we tricked you guys.
We got you so good. That was
Not into
crazy.
a
Oh my
stainless deep
god.
dive the whole time.
The whole time they're right behind me today. And the topic or the item or really the colors that we are exploring today, because that is the subject of our fascination, is Lilac, Lavender, Periwinkle, that I so bravely put forth onto the stand list because these colors run my world.
Yeah, exactly.
And Quinn is also, I would say, lilac, lavender, periwinkle go the best with green. I mean, it's classic like complementary
And
color
what
wheel.
and what article of clothing do I have that bears that out? My Carly Rae Jepsen Kiss sweatshirt. It's true. It's true.
There you go.
From
There
the
you
10th
go.
anniversary collection.
Click, click, collection.
Um. So yeah, we're here to talk about. So we're basically gonna do like an abridged version of like what a regular Stainless deep dive would be in like just the middle
Hmm.
section of the show today,
Yeah,
because we of course want to talk to each other about what's going on in our lives.
exactly. For happy
But
hours.
um, Becca, what are some of your like earliest memories with the colores?
Thank you so much for asking. I mean, so Y2K, it was very much a central color there. I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
had everything in either light blue, light purple, or light pink, and it's still how I live my life today.
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, I just always was collecting things in these colors. And whereas pink had like a big backlash because it was like too girly, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like it was cool to hate pink for a while. Never happened with lavender.
No.
It was always cool. She was always gonna be cool. And purple girls, my mom is a purple girl. And
Indigo
if you
chick.
know, if you will, if you know anyone whose favorite color is purple, you know, because everything they have is purple.
Mm-hmm.
It's just true. It
Yeah.
really happens with purple people.
Which is also impressive because purple is like still kind of like a famously like kind of hard thing to.
Make.
It's not one of the easiest colors to make.
Right.
Which is part of the reason that purple is like so historically been associated with like royalty. Like the senators used to wear it in Rome because it was
Mm-hmm.
like, girl, that's purple.
So rare
That was hard to buy that
to bull
color.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It was expenny, henny.
Quinn, Quinn, what's your background with the colors? Do you like them? Always loved?
I do
Okay.
definitely. I was wearing my like little mauve bomber jacket, but it's entirely too hot in my room because my
Right.
room runs hot. So I did have to take it off.
Mm-hmm.
But she's here in spirit. She's right there.
Yeah, I believe
Believe
you.
me.
I trust. I trust.
But do you know what I honestly realized was like the first time I was aware of like, oh, Lavender, Lilac, like these girls are taking over.
Lavender Haze, Taylor Swift.
No, long before that.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
It was a very specific trend on the internet. And I think honestly, the first person I saw do it was Jenna Marbles, probably, which is dyeing your hair lavender.
Oh, oh, you're so right. 2014
It
mint
was
green and
such, and
lilac
that's part
were
of the reason why I
so
wanted to wear this
big.
hat because it
Tyler
was like
Oakley,
along with like this, they were different.
like
Like the
purple
same people
hair.
didn't dye their hair purple that wore these hats, but like
Right.
those people were existing at the same time.
They were friends. They were dating.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was goth
Yeah.
GF and like hipster BF. Like
Yeah, 19 Maddie Healy, ex Halsey.
uh-huh.
That's
Oh my god,
exactly
they
what it
dated.
was.
That's yeah.
Yes,
Of course that
babe.
happened.
Yeah,
Of
they
course that
did. It
happened.
was
Mhm.
huge. It was huge on Tumblr.
Mhm.
You're so right. You're so right. Like literally mint green, lilac, and lilac were so and black and white were
Mhm.
like everything in 2014.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
I think
Lord.
honestly, and do you know who I realized never like just never gave the trend up?
Who?
Kelly Osbourne.
What color is Kelly's hair?
I don't know what her natural hair is, but it's just she just kept it purple.
Oh, damn.
Like I went and
I
checked
haven't
today because I'm
looked
like
at
I'm
her in
pretty
a
sure
minute.
because she was
I'm gonna Google her.
obviously she just went viral or she's like Stan Twitter has like added to Stan Twitter lexicon the who's gonna clean your toilets Donald Trump.
Right. Oh, that's not.
Oh, that's
Oh,
not.
I forgot that she looked so different now.
Yeah, the Ozempic is Ozempicing. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Semaglutide
Dr.
is
Miami
treating
is
our girl well.
Miami.
Um, but
She has a podcast. We should collab.
yeah, she has and she was on I've Had It. Um, which
Okay.
I didn't listen to the episode, but I saw a clip of her like I saw a clip of her complaining about like she was like, "Oh, I've had it with Prince Harry," and she like went on a rant about Prince Harry, and I was like, "Oh, you're Kelly Osbourne though, so I'm sure you're like, oh, his family isn't as bad as he says they are."
The opposite take we want.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I feel
could
like
be, could be.
she's like has like a royalist take on the whole Meghan and Harry thing, which like anyway, not to get into all that, but um
Yeah, her hair is really purple.
yeah, but she's stuck with
You're
it.
right. Yeah, she did not.
She's
She's
true to
not letting
this.
up.
She's not new to this, she's true to this. It's like HBO.
Yeah. It's something interesting about it though, is like you can tell where it washes out and then she redyes it. And then it washes out and she redyes because it gets like gray,
Yeah,
which I
because
like,
yeah,
actually.
that's also part of it as well because she was on like Red Table Talk and like you could see she had her hair like pulled back and it was like the whole like gradient of like the roots and stuff.
Right.
Which I feel like was one of the attractive things about dyeing your hair that color is because you knew it would like fade into like a interesting
A cool,
color.
yeah,
Because also gray,
dusty.
like dyeing your hair gray was also a thing around that time, so you could hit both the trends at like
True.
once.
True, true. Damn, I'm
But
just looking at
that
her.
was yeah, like that and mint green were kind of like the first time that people really got into like it felt like dyeing your hair like non-human colors like came back a little bit.
Right. Yeah, for sure. It was huge then.
Yeah.
Big, big.
So I think that was like the first time I was like, oh, that's that color. And that's its place in my world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um,
Have you evolved on it since then?
I like them. I like them. I like all colors. Like I don't really have like favorites except if it's like my forest, like my deep greens.
Green.
Like my deep
Right.
greens are like
Of course.
my like like that's like my
Those are just
favorite
gonna do it for
color.
you every
It's gonna do it
time.
for me every time. But
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
truly do love all colors. Like there's not a
No,
color I'm
yeah, me
like,
too.
oh, I hate that. But like so
I can
lavender,
appreciate
lilac,
all
periwinkle,
colors in
those are my
certain
children.
times.
I
Mm-hmm.
will also say that my mom had this horse or this pony named Periwinkle.
Really? That's so cute.
Yeah, and so I associate it more with like the pony than like the actual color. Like I didn't even realize it was like I forget what her show name was. I think her show name was a reference to like blue something or other.
Yeah.
But
Periwinkle's
I
a
forget what
fun
it was.
one. That's really fun.
That's a fun word to
My
say, periwinkle.
Yeah, so whimsical. I love it.
It's a whimsical ass
Um,
word.
my first lacrosse stick I ever bought was Periwinkle.
Mhm.
Gorgeous. People were so jealous of me. It was
Were.
crazy.
Still
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Thank you. Abridged.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but guys, much like we do in our deep dives, there is like a
Mhm.
history to all of this.
Of course, of course.
So color began when JK guys.
So the sun comes
Hold your
out.
horses. Tomorrow. And yeah. So I guess I mean, what do you have here? Oh yes. So all of them are obviously named after flowers of some sort.
Which I didn't put
Um
together until I like actually was like, oh yeah.
oh right. Well, of
Oh.
course. I mean the lavender plant is very famous, but you don't
Hmm.
often think of like lilacs or periwinkles like out in a
Yeah,
boat
no,
in
especially
your
periwinkles.
garden.
I was like, oh, that's a flower.
Yeah, it's also I forget. I read it so quickly, but I think it's also the certain snails like shells can be called a periwinkle or something like that because it like the winkle part of it, like the swirl.
Okay.
But that's kind of an old
Yeah.
term for it, is my understanding. And I read that on one website. Again, guys, we do what we can for these research wise.
For the kids.
Guys, for the kids. Some for the fucking kids. But I guess we can start with lilac, which is, guys, it is a warm toned light purple.
Yeah, I think this is where you're gonna shine a little bit, is explaining the difference in the colors to me.
Oh, let me just do that right off the bat then.
Because this is where I get so lilac, periwinkle, lavender, I'm fine with. When
Uh-huh.
we start to get into the made up colors a little bit, it gives me a little agita.
Right, of course. I
Like
get
something
it.
that I've always hated, strawberry blonde.
Oh, you get scared.
Your hair's red or it's blonde to me.
To me?
To me,
Strawberry
for
blonde.
to
Yeah.
me.
For to me. And for to how?
Although maybe
Strawberry
I've
blonde
softened on that. I don't really
is
care anymore. But like I remember that used to be a thing
right.
that bothered me.
I got referred to as a strawberry blonde a few times
Mm-hmm.
whenever my hair would get super like yellowy in the summer and it
Mm-hmm.
looked under certain lighting really warm toned, but I clearly wasn't a ginger. I was
Mm-hmm.
still blonde, but it was just really warm blonde. That's what
Okay.
strawberry blonde is.
Mm-hmm.
And stay with me now. But you wouldn't, it's only used for hair. You would never say,
I don't
you know.
know. People say dumb
No,
things all
like
the time.
I would not call something a brown table brunette. Come
This
on
beautiful
now.
brunette
Brunette
table.
table.
And what you don't know about that sweater is
So
it's
freaky.
not
I
blue.
am
It's actually cerulean.
cerulean, which you have. I wish I knew that whole speech like
I
Mike's
know.
Mike, but I don't.
Do you remember
I'll work
that
on it.
a girl in our voice and movement class did that as like her monologue that we worked on for like a good part of the semester?
I do actually. Yeah.
Serve her for
What a
that.
funny thing. Yeah. She was
And
brave.
there was during her etudes, her word was like stuff. So she just walked around the room saying like stuff for like two
Stuff.
minutes.
Stuff.
Stuff.
I was like, I get her. I really do.
I was like,
I totally see
yeah.
what she's doing.
I hadn't even seen the
Yeah,
film at that
probably.
point. And I was like, don't need to.
Check. Consider it watched. It's a rewatch at this point.
See another movie I watched in the
Alrighty.
past year. Anyway, adding it to the dossier.
The letterboxed. Okay, so lilac is
Hmm.
a warm light purple.
Hmm.
Lavender is a cool light purple. So they're usually the same intensity of white and purple.
Hmm.
It's just on other ends of the hue spectrum.
Hmm.
And then periwinkle is a cool light purplish blue because it is technically a blue, but it has purple in it.
Hmm.
Purplish blue, but it's cool toned. So, lilac, yeah. Or you're gonna say something?
No, I think it makes sense to me why you gravitate towards lavender because I feel like you're definitely like a cool. You
I'm so
like
glad you
cool
said that.
palettes.
1000% I
I
am.
feel like we both benefit off cool palettes, you and I.
I'm such a cool toned girl. Like I love a silver. I love
Hmm.
anything. Yeah, I love cool toned.
I like warm
I think
tones
it's
too, but
sweet.
I feel like I usually don't like warm tones like on me
Yeah, no, I look so
sometimes
much better in cool
because I can
tones.
get a little red.
Right. It's
We
it
got that
yeah, we
blotchy
can't ignore
Irish
it.
blood.
Of course we do. We really do.
Anyway,
Um, but lilac was first termed as a color in 1775. OMG, so many years ago now.
Becca in her past life be like,
OMG, so many years
OMG.
ago now. Um, and I loved this fact that I learned is that it was worn by British women at the end of a mourning period when black was like not necessarily like they were done wearing black, like because she died,
You
but it's
gotta
like not
introduce.
that she died, but it's not that serious anymore. So I can wear the purple. Hit the
Becca did
purple
write that joke in the outline. I was like making sure I left space for.
for that to be said. Let
I
her
was like, let me
speak.
stop because it made me giggle when I read it just now.
Good, 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 good. But I love that concept of like, oh, that woman is sad, but like she's getting over
She needs to serve.
it. She had to serve.
We can't let sadness stop our serve.
Exactly. And that was what Lilac was literally born to do.
Literally.
So no wonder why we love her. But yeah, again, like any shade really of purple, like in the past, guys, is gonna be associated with like wealth and royalty because again,
Hmm.
it's hard to make. So you're not a normal girl just running into purple cloth.
No, it's not like nowadays where
No, no, no.
purple's so
Everywhere.
democratized.
Shein has purple every single shade.
Hey,
I'll tell you that much.
don't talk bad about
I
Shein
don't want
on
to
my
speak ill of your
watch.
company that you
On
own,
my
you know.
watch. Oh, I didn't even talk about my flight back from China.
Oh my God. Layover after cage after dungeon. Crazy, crazy.
You want to talk about the real authoritarian governments? Let's talk about those airlines.
Oh my
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah.
I'm shocked. Anywho.
The real
And then guys
exploitation and torture is the airlines.
is the airlines coming from China to America. Talk about customs at
Oh my God,
JFK.
I can't imagine.
LOL. Um, yeah, so that's kind of lilac for you in the past. And then lavender, are cool light purple. Something also with its association with wealth and royalty and stuff is that it was really seen as a super masculine color because
Mm-hmm.
of its like association with like kingship and stuff. Which I think is so funny because part of why lavender is like really associated with queerness now and is
Mm-hmm.
like, known as like the queer revolution color, like slay on lavender,
Mm-hmm.
babe. Um, is because like later it was seen as like very feminine for men to wear.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they started like making jokes about like, oh, he's with
Sissy
the
boys and their
lavender.
lavender.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, okay, so there was like this thing that happened in the 19th century where like this one weird accident caused like a synthetic dye to be made, which actually made purple way easier to make. So that was like a big boom in all the purple right then. So people, the common people were then able to wear it then. And
Mm-hmm.
then aestheticism comes along and they're like, wait a minute, if you're wearing that, you are very gay.
Gay man.
It's
You're a gay man.
it's not sitting right with me.
Gay
Um,
woman. Gay woman.
woman, gay woman, woman. Oh, that is great. Um, yeah, I mean, Quinn, do you have anything to say about lavender being associated with being queer? Like, to me, that's just
Yeah.
innate, but I
I-
suppose there's also a historical reference to it.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said because I didn't know where it started, but that's interesting
Hmm.
context to know that that's kind of how it started. But yeah, lavender has always been more associated with like it in a sort of like modern context is very closely associated with queerness. There was, of
Hmm.
course, the Lavender Menace, which
Hmm.
was I believe that's specifically like a now thing. So like the National Organization of Women had, which is like a big feminist organization, founded who like Betty Friedan was like high up in,
Hmm.
who wrote Betty Friedan, who wrote The Feminine Mystique. I'm like trying to make sure I don't get my feminists confused. Um,
Right.
but Betty
There's so
Friedan,
many.
or maybe it was, yeah. So Betty Friedan writes The Feminine Mystique. Um, and which is basically where she defines like housewife syndrome, which is
Hmm.
basically this thing of like, oh, women get like married and their whole life becomes domesticity, and these women are fucking depressed because like their whole life is like their home life basically.
Yeah,
um
serving a man.
and then she wrote, I think The Problem That Has No Name is one of like the ones that's like is the one that's kind of like explicitly um oh no, that isn't what I thought it was. But her and I believe Phyllis Schlafly um were, or no, was Phyllis Schlafly like an anti-feminist? Yeah, she was an anti-feminist. So Phyllis Schlafly was against like the ERA, but
She sucked,
yeah,
bro.
she sucked. And so
Even though she was a working woman. She didn't want women to work, but she was working. Anywho.
literally.
I can't
So Betty,
don't
it
get
was
me
interesting
started on
because like
Phyllis.
feminism, of course, was like not friendly to gay people at first, like gay women.
Yeah.
And so now, which is the National Organization for Women, which is like a very feminist organization, was trying to advocate for women's needs. They didn't want like out lesbians in the organization.
Hmm.
And it caused a lot of like infighting, a lot of protests and stuff during like the 60s and 70s when this stuff was all like really heating up. And
Yeah.
so it was called like the Lavender Menace. I'm pretty sure is like directly where that comes from.
Yeah.
Um
Which was the protest to for them to include
yes. Mm-hmm.
lesbians and queer people in their agenda.
Mm-hmm. They should. I don't know why it went to t-shirt first. I don't need a Lavender Menace t-shirt. Although I do
Oh
love my
goodness.
lesbians.
You know
I
it.
love y'all. I love y'all.
Love
Um
you. Love you.
but yeah, so it was basically some cool lesbians who are part of the Gay Liberation Front, which came out of like
Hmm.
Stonewall, obviously, trying to be like, hey, National Organization of Women, gay women exist and you should advocate on behalf of them. And then now was like,
Yeah.
But y'all are weird.
Oh, yeah, they're like, geez, more people? We're so
Um,
busy.
and then the Lavender Scare was specifically the part of like the Red Scare that accounted for like McCarthyism.
Hmm.
So if you don't know this part of history, basically, um, queerness was very not closely, not in like an actual way. There are definitely some connections between queerness and like the communist movement in like the 1960s,
Yeah,
um, in like America, like,
yeah.
um, but it's not like every gay person was a communist, but they
That was
started
the
to.
mentality of a lot
Yes.
of
So
people.
this is during
Yeah.
the Cold War. This is Cold War politics. So
Hmm.
communism is the enemy of like America, basically.
Yeah.
Like proxy, it's like the proxy war, but the proxy wars between Russia and the US, which basically boils down to a competition between the ideology of capitalism and the ideology of communism.
Hmm.
And so during this time, there were like all these things within the government, like the House Un-American Activities panel, that were like investigating people, trying to rid the US of communists, because it was also like everybody thought everybody was a spy, and they thought that there were like infiltrators within the US government who were communists, who were like trying to like sell US information back to Russians and like, I don't know, and the US as we know it or whatever.
Hmm.
And so they basically started to use this as like, it was a little bit like, it's almost a little bit like cancel culture now, like how everybody just, or like woke, almost not even cancel culture, but like woke, how people use woke to just be like the term woke has become so vapid, and like it's just literally
Yeah.
anybody who you don't agree with is like woke, especially in like a right-wing
Yeah.
context, because like the red scare was ultimately like a like in the US,
Woke
and like the
battle.
yes was like, it was the right wing culture war of the day. And
Yeah.
so basically, instead of calling people woke, they called them communists.
Yeah.
And so basically they wanted to target gay people, and so they were like, oh, gay people are communists, and so anyone who's gay has to be like rooted out of governmental systems. And so basically
Hmm.
they went on this like, Joseph, aided mostly by Joseph McCarthy, who was a senator, not to be confused with the current Speaker of the House, whose name is also Joseph McCarthy. Um,
That's just a coincidence,
yeah, it's
guys.
just a coincidence. But different kinds of McCarthyism there. But he was the
Yeah.
one who was like big into like launching investigations into people. A bunch of people like lost their jobs,
Oh yeah.
because they were
Oh yeah.
like basically like proven, they're basically like proven or at least suspected of being like gay, and by extension expected to be communists.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
they like lost their government jobs, and it was extremely hard to like get employment after that too, because they were like,
They got blacklisted and stuff,
yeah, it
like
wasn't
in
like
all
okay to be
industries.
gay. And so like
Yeah.
they were like, oh, are you a communist? Oh, are you gay? And when they like tried to go and get other jobs, and it was kind of like, mm.
Wow.
It was kind of
Awkward
like,
story.
it was kind of it was similar to, there's a army program around the same time. I believe it's called a blue slip. It was called, I'm gonna fact check that real quick. But they were basically, that was before like, this is why don't ask don't tell becomes a big thing in the 90s, because
Hmm.
people could, if like you were found out to be in the military and you were like found out to be gay, um you could, like, you would just get discharged like dishonorably discharged immediately. And
Yeah.
when you were dishonorably discharged, you lost all your military benefits.
Yeah. Boom.
So you could serve, and but you couldn't serve.
Serve.
You couldn't serve, girl.
Serve. Yeah, you can
But
serve. You'll
um
serve.
yeah, so but yeah, so that was another way that like people were just being fucking homophobic.
Yeah, like
um
really bad.
yeah, like really bad.
Like really fucking bad.
And so they were doing all that, but then gay people were like, okay, well, but it's kind of nice, not nice, but like ultimately some of the people who lost like those nice government jobs and some of the people who were like discharged from the army decided to like become activists and like be like, what the fuck, this is fucked up. And so a lot of them
Mm-hmm.
started to like really embrace like the whole like lavender thing of it. And like ever since then, lavender has really been associated with like queer movements and stuff.
Yeah, for serious, which is again a big slay of the color.
I know.
We must
A
appreciate it.
credit to its name.
Yeah, guys, that
Truly.
was so much history and stuff. I hope you learned.
I
That's what
know.
these are
And
ultimately
not
for.
explained like super well. It's been a
Pretty good
second since
gist.
yeah, it's been a second since I
It's very
refreshed on any of
complicated, very
it, but
complicated. Yeah,
yeah, it was like
yeah.
it's also interesting. It's interesting, like because we also don't have any like context for it a little bit because it's like it's one thing to like live through it, but it also feels kind of like
Right.
far away because
Yeah.
it's also not something that like because like the people I know who like lived through that time were like my grandparents, but it's also not something that would have like affected their
Been
lives in a
on
way
their
because
mind. Yeah.
it wasn't like it's hard to imagine those times because it's like media wasn't so democratized and like we didn't
Mm-hmm.
know what was happening all the time. So like a lot of people in the US didn't even know this stuff was happening.
Right.
They were just like,
It's kind of spook magook.
yeah.
But
Hmm.
also, ignorance is bliss, but also terrible things are happening.
Yeah.
But now terrible things are happening and we know about them. We don't do
The horrors
anything.
persist, but so do I.
Yeah. And that's what being gay is
And people
all
used to not
about.
know the horrors were persisting. And, you know,
Right.
pros and cons to each,
Good for
really.
them. Good for them, though. Yeah. But yeah, so that's just on Lavender. And then lastly, Periwinkle. And guys, she's kind of like the cool, hip, new girl on the street, like new girl in school, because her as a color name only came around like the 1920s. Whoa.
Whoa.
And that was when she was being used a lot in paintings. Like think of the very romantic, like water lilies and such, like ponds and Victorian people being like, "Oh, I must paint my garden when I'm away in the summer. I'm summering in Etka, and I will paint the field." So periwinkle is used for that, very romantic, and it basically needed a name. And now, again, she's like kind of fun and cute.
Hmm.
But if you name your daughter Periwinkle, I will
That
kill
kid's
us
gonna be
all.
insufferable.
So annoying. I can't even believe it. But guys, those are kind of like what we have on our favorite colors. Well,
Yeah.
my favorite colors. Quinn's appreciative of these
Yeah.
colors.
I'm sitting back and I'm appreciating. And
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
thing, just to go back really quickly, so what I
Mm-hmm.
said was like the blue slip is actually a
Uh-huh.
blue discharge, it was called.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
a form of administrative military discharge that was neither honorable nor dishonorable. But again, the thing is that it
We
like
all knew what was
basically
going on.
yes, and that's part of what made it hard is because like if they saw that you got a blue discharge, like everybody knew what was going on, like everybody knew
Yeah,
that you were at least accused of being a homosexual. A
right.
homosexual. Um and they were like denied both they're denied benefits from the GI Bill and the VA. So
So
yeah.
tough.
So they didn't have benefits
That's
after
so tough.
serving and they also had a really hard time getting jobs. Um
Damn.
so yeah. Sometimes I'm
Imagine if you
like,
were into force for a while.
oh yeah, oh yeah, you could totally
That is
like
terrible.
yeah, you could make your whole life. And of course, according to Wikipedia,
Hmm.
they were
And of course.
disproportionately given to African Americans as well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
where
I
there's
believe
smoke,
that.
there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. A whole lot of times, a
When a
lot of
fire
times.
starts to burn, yeah, and it starts to flame, you make
Hmm.
I don't know the rest.
But yeah,
But
we certainly have our issues being queer people in this day and age, but you know, some things back then weren't so blissful.
yeah, certainly not. Certainly.
Yeah, but anyway, so I guess like now that we have the history and like our personal history established with it, any particular moments, not quite like we won't go with like full manic pixie and jump scare moments for Lavender itself, but like any moments that
Hmm.
really stick out to you in your Lavender-ness or
Sweetener era. We've already done an episode on that, but that
Mhm.
color, it was so important to that era. It's just such a dreamy color. And my walls used to be hot pink from the people who lived here before us, and I begged my mom for so long to let me paint them lavender, and she did when I was in high school, and it was like new era. Era.
Hot pink would be a crazy color for a room.
It was crazy, and I covered it. It was hot pink, and it had Twilight posters all over it.
You said I'm at home. I'm home.
This is my sanctuary.
Like it's my house. I'm home.
I'm gonna own this house.
I'm out of this house.
Yeah. Any room that's lilac, I do honestly feel at home in.
Mm-hmm.
It's my space.
Yeah.
I just love it. Yeah. What about you, Quinn?
Honestly, I'm kind of in my lavender era. My last 2 water bottle acquisitions have been this lovely
Oh yeah,
shade.
girl.
My fake Stanley.
Yours is so cute.
My kids were like today, they were like, "Oh, is that a Stanley?" I was like, and then one of them was like, "Oh, a Stanley dupe," and I was like, "That's exactly correct, actually."
It is a dupe, actually. Thank you guys so much.
It's a dupe.
This girl I work with has like 3 actual Stanleys. I'm like,
That's a lot of money. I didn't realize how expensive they were.
they're like $40 a pop.
And
So
now
that's
they're like
$120.
now they're like super expensive because you can't like buy them anywhere.
Oh God.
You can only get the Stanley on like the resale market, apparently.
Jesus Christ. That is scary. All for the label of it.
Literally, yes, yeah. You can buy so
Because
many
what
cups
is
to do
different
the
about my
exact same
Five Below?
things.
Yeah. And guess what? I left my Five Below one at work. Imagine if that was a real Stanley.
Yeah.
$4 sitting on the top shelf of my warehouse.
I've
Bench.
left this at work for like entire weeks.
It is what it is. They always
It is what it
always
is.
find your way back home.
I used to be the worst
Change
about
your
losing water
hand.
bottles.
It's so easy because I claim to always need one, and then I always put it down somewhere because
It
they're
was
hard to
so
carry,
bad.
actually.
It was so bad that like I had to like actually physically like, okay, I'm spending a lot of money on like a hydro flask, so I will not lose it.
Lose it.
Because literally it happened
Yeah.
last year where there was like somebody bought a hydro flask that was like a nice like blue color, and I literally took it to Washington D.C. when I went to see Lord. Did not make it off the train with me.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Got left on the
Train.
train. Literally not even
Oh jeez.
not even into the trip. Anyway.
God.
But
What are
I think we've said our piece on lavender and lilac and periwinkle.
Yeah. Guys, go buy something lilac or lavender or periwinkle right now.
It is good. Decorate your life with it. What's RuPaul from his Architectural Digest? Find your favorite color and live in that color.
So true, actually.
Did you watch that?
No,
Oh my God, you should. It's
I will.
fascinating.
I can't even imagine, like, I never seen a photo of RuPaul's house.
It's quite a sight to behold.
I'm excited.
Well, do you
Okay.
know what I've heard is that people do the Architectural Digest before they sell?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, as like free
Yes.
promo for the house.
Mhm.
Ooh, interesting.
But
I like that theory. Because yeah, why else would you invite a stranger to your home and show them all your locks and keys and alarms
Yeah,
and security
exactly.
footage
Yeah,
and
be
ring
like, this is
doorbells?
especially for a celebrity, it's like weird to be like, oh, this is the inside of my house. Here's the
This is
floor
the doggy
plan.
door that's always open. You can always access.
Exactly.
Perfect.
But yeah. So Becca and I are gonna throw it to a little bit of a break, and then we'll be right back.
Guys, I'm scared.
Oh,
Oh my God.
oh my
Oh
God.
my God, Ronnie.
Oh my God, Ronnie. Ron, stop. You're
Stop.
traumatizing me. Stop.
You're
The fact that I was
traumatizing
watching
me.
that as an elementary school student, like just like vile relationship abuse on television.
Yeah, not the best. That like and Bad Girls Club being what I would watch in 5th grade, like with my mother fully.
I watched
Crazy
Jersey Shore with
viewing,
my dad and my
actually.
brother. It was like our bonding activity. We'd all watch it together.
Yeah. so funny. Oh my
Fucked up.
God.
Anyway, but we are
Really
back.
fucked up.
And no comment corner this week because you guys are lazy.
There's no time.
There's no time. And also, Becca and I are working girls. So,
Yeah,
um,
genuinely.
anyways, we move right along to our jump scares of the week. This is just a time where we felt maybe a little pissed off, maybe also a little scared, or maybe a lot of scared. And Becca, what was that moment for you this week?
Well, so actually today was this is my first week of official classes. And I
Mm-hmm.
had class actually today. And guys, canvas.com.
Oof,
They need
so
they need
real.
like a better like way to get to the page you were just on.
Okay. Yeah, because they'll
Because
be
like
like,
sometimes
you'll
the
probably hit the
navigation just
backspace
isn't
and
going to
they'll
do
be
it for me.
like complete form redistribution or whatever it
404
says.
not found,
Yeah.
no source. And I'm
Mhm.
like, perfect, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't need that or anything.
Um, no, of course not. It's not all my schoolwork just on there or
No,
anything.
no, 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 no.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like it is a little scary to not be in school for a year and then be like, okay, you do have 75 pages of reading due, and we are going to discuss it in depth. So think about that. And
You're coming
I'm
back in a
acting
big way.
shocked. Yeah, in the biggest way. But yeah, I'm really shocked right now.
Feel free to call it a
Um,
comeback.
I didn't say you did. I didn't say it. You did. Hey.
Or
But I did make a friend in my class, even though it's an online class.
oh my God, challenge mode.
No, literally. But by make a friend, she was like, "Hey, we're gonna be at the same school. What's your number?" And I was like, "Here's my number. We're friends." You know those private, but isn't it so scary? Like, you know, when you like get a private chat in the Zoom and you're like, and then you make sure really that it's going to just them, and then you're like, wait,
Yeah, it's like
did
this
it
whole
just go to
thing.
just them
Yeah.
or that was stressful actually a little bit. Yeah. So I guess my jump scare is just like Zoom and Canvas, but like we're gonna get through it. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Zoom especially. I say as we record this
Yeah.
on Zoom.
Zoom, because
Zoom.
Zoom has a complete monopoly. There's no like, have you ever tried to do like a Google Meet? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, Zoom has it on lock,
Indeed.com has their
unfortunately.
own meme or meme.
Ma'am? Excuse me, ma'am?
I cannot
Oh,
stress you
fuck.
guys. I'm on like my, what is it? My like, not 22nd, right? That can't be true.
15th. Wait,
No,
what?
no, because it would be 12.
12. Oh,
12 plus
wait.
5. Like my,
17th,
I'm going on
18th
like my
hour.
17th, 18th hour of being awake. So,
Oh my god.
um, things aren't coming like the once did. But yeah, I did have an interview via Indeed's like Zoom platform one time.
That is so goofy. Like,
Goof
yeah.
troop. Anyway,
Yeah. But yeah, that's my jump scare. Quinn, what's yours?
my jump scare was last night when I was typing out my newsletter, type to type. And I like was like on my laptop, and I have like a little case for my laptop because my last laptop had like a dent in it from one time like when something had dropped on it. And so I was like, oh, my new laptop was expensive, I want to keep her nice, like I'm gonna buy her a case, I'm gonna do it. And like I found a case which is a beautiful forest green and was, say
Lovely.
it with me now, $50.
Oh,
But I
which
was like,
actually
oh,
I
let
have
me
to assume.
splurge because it's good. And then I was literally just like not even like, I was maybe like fucking with it a little bit, but not like anything too hard. And then the case just like starts to break.
Oh no.
Like two little pieces came out of it, and now there's like a little chunk missing on the side.
That's so weird. I have a chunk missing on my case. I don't know what happened. Must have been in the airport.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Like,
what?
how did this occur? It's literally a chunk.
Yeah. And I was like, what is going on? And so now I'm
Yeah.
like, I feel like I can like make a stink and maybe get a new one, but that maybe also might not happen. So I don't know, but
Right,
I'm kind of
right.
pissed because I did spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
like, so it literally just
it's to
like
just shatter in your hands.
Maggie Rogers style shatter.
Crazy thing for plastic to do.
Yeah, so that kind of peed me off.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't like when things are like sullied or like not perfect. Like shit like that bothers me.
Yeah. I'm with you.
but we
I
persevere.
say
We
that
keep.
with a stain on every single item of clothing I own.
No, sometimes I like look at my clothes. Like I had this with like my pit, like one of my pit sweatshirts that I literally got like a couple weeks after I started like my undergraduate studies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this has like like it's not stained in a way that like anyone would see, like to the naked eye, but like when you like look up close to it in the light, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many stains on this.
This is crazy.
Like it's
A
not enough stains
palette.
where I'm like, oh, I feel like gross about wearing this in public, but like it is
Mm-hmm.
like being like, oh my God.
Like, wow, it's
If someone
accrued
gets
so
close
much
enough to
life.
me, um,
Gives it
but yeah.
character.
But now we move from the dark into the light.
Mm-hmm.
The darkest stains into those that are can just be washed away with a little bit of hand soap if you get to it quick enough. And that is our Manic Pixie moment of the week, and it's just a moment where we felt just like the OxyClean being sprinkled on top of the laundry in the washing machine. And yeah, so Becca, what was that moment for you this week?
So you better believe that on the other day I went thrift shopping to the the local Salvation Army,
Mm-hmm.
and girl, what was in the water? Because I I got to this point where I put my phone in my bag because I needed both hands to really rifle through everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I found probably 30 things and I spent like under $50. And I had to get a cart. I found such
Damn.
good stuff. I have so many funky teacher fits now. And the people behind me in line, I mean, of course, there's only one woman working and she's probably 85 years old at the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to type in every single item. It's exhausting for them. And, I looked like a Depopper to the naked eye. And there was people behind me in line being like, "Oh, not like no, so much stuff." And I'm like, "Do you want the business or not?
Or not.
I gotta get my stuff." But I just really made out, and it's so fulfilling when you like go and search and then you find cool stuff. Like there's no feeling like it. I
No,
love
yeah.
it.
I've been meaning to go thrifting, but I just never have the time to like shop. Like I want new clothing so badly because I feel like I wear the same thing all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
shopping is such like an activity.
It takes forever, but oh, so rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Manic Pixie moment, my thrift haul. I should have made a video, but I didn't. Whatever. Time has passed. Quinn, what was your Manic Pixie moment this week?
Well,
Be
actually, I want to.
honest.
I do, and I just thought of
Okay.
another one because I was like, I was kind of breaking it, being like, oh my God, what am I gonna say? But anyway, so I was dog sitting over the like past week, 6 days, and I was with a lovely little yellow lab named Cora, who
Aw,
there's this lady that works with my mom who owns her. She was honestly such a chill dog, such a chill
love
girl.
that.
Only thing is sometimes she like didn't she would like try to take food like directly off your plate.
Oh.
She'd be like, "Oh, it's for me," and I'd be like, "No, girl, get away from that."
Goldie straight up ate. So I saw him jump on my mom's lap and eat something off her plate. And she looks down and goes, "Oh my God." And I'm like, you didn't feel him do that like so clearly right in front of you.
That's so
She was
Jewel.
shocked.
That's so
I
Jewel.
know. My
Uh,
God.
well, famously, one time, one of Chunk's most famous times is when because he is famous for like jumping up. He makes such a stink at dinner time, or he did
Oh
when he lived
boy.
here. So like he'll like growl and like cry because we're eating dinner we won't share with him. And he like
Oh,
jumps up on
he
the
gets
table and like puts his
jealous.
paws on the table. Or
Oh my God.
and then one time, this was like not, it was not that long after we got him. We like set like steaks down on the table. He fully jumped up and took one from the table.
Bad
Yeah, he
boy.
fully just jumped up
Bad
and
chunk.
yes, yeah. So that reminded me very much of that. But so I had
Yeah.
Miss Cora and I was kind of
Hmm.
obsessed with her because she was just kind of chill. But I was also added fish sitter to my resume because I had some fish to feed while I was in the house.
Oh wow. Fish
And
sitter.
so, yeah, it wasn't a big thing. I was like, just
Mhm.
I fed them once a day. There was like goldfish and there were guppies. Oh my God. Fish food fucking stinks.
Reeks, bro. Yeah.
I had to like hold my nose by the end of it because I was like, I already don't like fishy. Like, I don't like fish smell, taste, whatever.
You're sensitive to it. Yeah.
I hate it. And like, I was like,
Jeez.
because my dogs also eat like salmon food and their food
Hmm.
smells so strong. But I've like gotten used to that smell a little bit. But the fish food was disgusting. I'm like thinking
It
about it.
is
But
really strong.
anyway, so
Jeez.
I was like feeding the fish and then I departed yesterday. And then I got a text from the woman I was dog sitting for, and her son is, the primary caretaker of the fish. And she was like, oh,
Sure.
he was really happy to see that his guppies had babies while he was gone.
Pardon,
And I was like, they did?
ma'am.
I was like, wait,
You're a fish
so
midwife, and
I
you
know
didn't even know.
exactly.
You have a gift. You
I'm
have
a
a
fish
gift.
midwife. Yeah. No, I was
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
wait. I was walking
Special
around different.
skills.
I was walking around a little different yesterday after I heard that news. I was
I,
like,
I,
wait, I have a magic touch a little bit. I said, go
you feed
forth and
those
multiply.
fish.
I said, go forth and multiply.
I got you. I got you.
My little one pinch of food. I was instructed to
Yeah,
give
that's
them by
also
that little
true.
boy.
They need such little food because
I
they're
know.
so minuscule, and
Hmm.
yet they produce life.
I know.
It's what the dinosaurs would say about us.
It was also funny because it was like fully me being explained something by like an 8-year-old boy.
And that you give the fish their food
Like
and then
couldn't
you
pronounce
come
no,
back.
like
Oh
literally couldn't pronounce his R's. Like,
my God. Thank you.
but he's like explaining to me how to take care of the fish, and I'm like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mm.
Oh, right.
I'm
Right.
taking it so seriously. I'm serious as a heart attack.
I mean, yeah, obviously you did because it
And
worked
look,
out. Not
I'm good at my
he
fucking
can
job because those kids had kids.
those kids has kids.
Babies having
He came
babies.
he came back with more fish.
I know. I'm
You would have
like,
got him free fish.
I know. I'm like, shouldn't I get like a bonus, like little
But
tip?
aren't guppies baby fish too? Wait, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but he
So do
definitely
babies
called
have
them
babies?
guppies. They weren't named anything like that.
Dang.
Want
No,
to
it
know
makes me think of
more?
that tweet that's like dogs are so weird because how is your mom 1 year older than you?
It was funny
Fish are
because
so weird. How's
I
your
was
guppy a day older than you?
I was listening to Seek Treatment, and Pat Regan was talking about because he just adopted a dog,
Mhm.
and he was talking about like this dog who was at the dog park who got pregnant at 8 months old.
Oh my God. Slut.
Literally.
So true.
Which like at that point it's not like a Joe Graceffa situation where it's unethical. Like it's like, oh, that's just bad. That's just kind of bad
Yeah.
luck.
Inconvenient. Yeah, oopsie.
Because like a lot of the veterinary science now is like you should wait to get your dogs like spayed a little bit. But you just got
Yeah.
unlucky a
So it's
little.
in that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Dang.
But
That's tiff.
anyway, um dogs are only a year old. How's your mom only a year older than you?
It's weird. Like it's suspicious. It's weird.
But anyway, that is our show for today, I suppose.
Yay.
And so Becca, where can people find you if they're wanting to do so?
Thank you so much. They can find me on Instagram at Becca Hobart, Twitter and Spotify, Bex Gloss, and TikTok, Where Y'all Going Doing Word War 3. They can also find me out in the lavender field, but I'm actually going to use periwinkle paint. So it's
Mhm.
like a whole thing.
Well, we didn't even talk about how we inspired Taylor Swift to write Lavender Haze.
We forgot. Guys,
Well,
next ep.
for the record,
Yeah. I mean,
no
officially
coincidence
stated.
that we put these on the stand list in 2022, and Miss Taylor is, or no, yeah, Miss Taylor is releasing an album a couple months later, being like, "I just want to stay in that
In
lavender
the,
haze."
I feel
And
lavender
then
haze
fucking
creeping
Gaylors, of
over
course, were
me.
like, "Oh, Lavender, she's coming out."
Yeah, girl.
What do you think of Gaylors? Do you have an opinion on them?
Like it's fully I saw the ancestor of this, which was Harry X Louis Larry.
You think it goes back to that? You think it goes back to
We're
Larry?
we're reaching, and
We
we're
are reaching, but
scrambling,
we fall.
trying trying to find evidence
No, because Swifties are
with investigations that don't need to be
particularly
done.
Swifties are like particularly brain dead. Like literally everything. Like
Well, to a certain degree, like,
Swifties will have you conject like have the weirdest conjecture ever.
because they'll be right about one thing and they'll be
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, I've never been wrong. But it's like, actually, you said so many possibilities that
They're
one
like
of them was bound to be true.
here's why Taylor Swift is dropping 1989 Taylor's version this week.
Yeah.
Friday comes.
This week.
No noise.
Next week.
Guys, it's
The
next
week
week
after
now. The
that.
week after. Oh my god, but wait. Next time we come in to
Oh,
record the podcast, we will be living in a
it's
post Speak
out.
Now Taylor's
You're
version
so right.
society.
Everyone rise up. Rise up. Rise up.
Becca, rise up, don't sleep on us. And you won't be after we are listening
Better
to
than
Speak
revenge
Now Taylor's version.
TV.
Have you seen people are already searching the lyrics and they can like tell the lyrics have changed?
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of this.
Because like if you search up like some lyrics in the song, it like comes up, but like if you search other lyrics, like the one she's better known for the things she does on the mattress.
Oh, it doesn't come up.
Yeah.
Dang it. Taylor, stand your ground.
Wait, that means we're gonna have like, oh my god, in like 24 hours even, because it's kind of late when we're recording this.
Yeah, you're kind of right.
Wait, Dear John Taylor's
Dang.
version? Mine Taylor's version? Wait, okay, suddenly I'm excited to be a Swiftie again.
I mean, speak now, Taylor. Like,
All of it.
wow, wow, wow,
Back
wow,
to
wow, wow,
December
wow.
Taylor's version.
Said speak now.
Guys, I think it's happening. I think I'm gonna get tickets to Eras Tour
Eras Tour
Madrid
Madrid. I think I'm
and
ready.
Voy a España ver Taylor Swift.
See.
Um but anyway, you can find me on social media
Yeah.
just because I wasn't not even like I wasn't trying to like shade Becca or anything. I was just like, how could she possibly remember that that's what we were doing before
No,
I like
I was ready,
derailed
but
us
it was just a
entirely.
matter of when. It was just a matter of when. Quinn, where can the people keep up with you individually? They're so inclined.
You can find me at Quinn P. Murphy on both Instagram and TikTok. And you can find me at Quinn P. Murphy _ on Twitter. You can also find my newsletter over Intellectuals Anonymous at Quinn P. Murphy. Or no. Yeah, at QuinnPMurphy.substack.com. This week I wrote about Lady Gaga Nurtec. So if you want to hear my high level thoughts on that I got into, because I feel like we definitely talked about it on the podcast.
Nurtec? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, did we?
But yeah, and of course I bring NinfoWars up on the show way too much, but they literally talk about everything I'm interested in on that podcast. Like they know exactly what I'm interested in and they know how to like write a thing around it. So like there was 2 episodes where they were just snorting lines of Nurtec. That was like part of the
What
bit they were
effect did it have
doing.
on them?
They were like going crazy. It was like they were doing coke, but it was like Nurtec.
Nurtec. Oh my god.
And then this week they were talking, of course, about the Shein influencers.
Yeah. Which is
But
obviously your closest friends and
oh, of
allies.
course, yeah. As a confidence activist,
Your sister. Yeah.
is it an activist or an
Full
advocate?
time, babe. I think activist was actually the term used. So you have to stay true to that.
That I think so much about that when she started being like, so and then she goes like trying to be quirky.
Shein.
Anyway, and Becca, where can people follow the show if they're so inclined?
They can follow at Pixie Jump Scare on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where we post the podcast at length if you're so inclined to watch our beautiful faces and look at our cool hats. And you can also email in at pixiejumpscare@gmail.com. Literally tell us anything or ask us anything. It's so fine. Oh my God, Quinn, don't ever do that right now. Don't. Please stop.
I look like Linda
Are you
Evangelista.
ossifying?
I look like that new cover of Linda Evangelista.
Oh my God, you do. I'm so scared. And then The podcast is over.
We're Quinn.
We're Quinn.
And
and
we're
we're
Becca.
Becca.
And thank you for listening. And all of you driving with the 5 home from work, oh, it's backed up. But baby, that's just LA. Maybe keep going all the way down to Malibu and catch some NAR before the long weekend. Yeah.
It's the 4th of July.
I'm about to pop off. Where the police at? Police right there. Manic Pixie Jump Scare is hosted by Quinn Murphy
and Becca Hobart. Executive produced by Quinn Murphy and Becca Hobart.
Sound and video editing by Quinn Murphy.
Social media management and highlights by Becca Hobart.
And our theme song was written by Quinn Murphy, Becca Hobart, and Nandita Mahesh.